Today, we are so lucky and excited to have Dr.Donna Dannenfelser
Thank you.
here. Welcome to our show. This is going to be a great episode.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Donna, you worked with the NFL. You were always everyone who listens to us and also Jeff Lewis Live. You're often a guest or co-host on Jeff Lewis Live.
Yes.
You had your own TV show that you executive produced called Necessary Roughness. And you were the author of a book that I own, and I should probably get several copies to give to anyone who I care about, called Game On.
Yeah.
So thank you. Welcome to our podcast, Till the Dirt. Tommy, hello. Hi.
Hi.
Well, we might as well tell everybody what happened.
No, it's fine. What kind of doctor are you?
Okay, so I'm a psychotherapist.
Okay.
Okay, and it's talk therapy.
Can you prescribe meds?
No, that's a psychiatrist. That's a psychiatrist.
I know.
Psychiatrist. Psychotherapists, they provide talk therapy. I do it differently. You come into a program with me as opposed to you just go see a therapist and every week you'll go back and back and back. I have programs of 5 sessions so that you know you're going to do 5 sessions, and then if you're done, you're done. If not, then you get another package. And it's also more of an objective conversation that I have with my clients as opposed to traditional therapy, which is more in the line of you talk and then the therapist reflects. You talk and then the therapist reflects. That's traditional psychotherapy.
Now, could you do your therapy through Zoom? Like, do they
I
have to
do,
sit
yes.
Okay.
No, well, because of the pandemic, it all became telehealth.
Okay.
And so actually I have clients from around the world.
I was just going to ask that too. Sometimes you can't cross over state. Okay, so so if you're out there and you need a therapist, hit Dr. Donna up.
Well, I like that when Dr. Donna described it and said, when you start therapy, you don't know when it's going to end. And that's why when she has the approach of get 5 sessions and when you're done, you could decide to move on, and that people continuously renew because we want to live in our highest consciousness, our highest selves.
Yes.
We want self-awareness.
Yes.
And what Tommy and I, and I'm sure all of the people who listen, want to improve how we communicate and how we show up for other people.
Yeah, and traditional therapy does not provide practical step-by-step methods and tools to live in your best version of self. Okay, it's more we're talking and regurgitating and talking. With eudaimonia therapy, you actually get practical methods and tools to use when you're feeling anxious, to use when you're in fear, to use when you don't know how to get to the next step. So you're walking away with things that you can actually use to step into the best version of self. So
Which
it's a different type of therapy.
And that's what we need, because
And there's a perpetual state of therapy that, like, if you don't have an end to, like, if you say 5 episodes and then we'll reevaluate, I feel like it's a better way than we'll just see you again next week.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know if there's progress being made,
It's true. It's 5. The sessions are designed for you. You come in with your issues, and then there's these methods and tools are always the same, but how I will deliver them to you will be dependent on where you are right now.
Gotcha.
I think that over the last 4 or 5 years, how long has it been since pandemic? The last 3 years?
2020. We're at 23 now, so 20. So yeah, a couple
All right.
years.
So over the last 3 years, I think that we all want to take our lives to the next level. We don't want to, not that we didn't want to before, but just that I've learned that we're with ourselves a lot more.
Well, I think there's also a pandemic.
Because
it told a lot of people not to take things for granted. You
right.
know what I mean?
That definitely. But when you're on lockdown, on quarantine,
Yes.
we have been with ourselves more than ever. All the distractions went away. The malls were closed. Everything became more inward. And so when I'm around, I'm like, I would go on walks for exercise. And that's when I realized that I want to be my own best friend. I want to be a good wife to my husband. I want to be a good mother. I want to be a good daughter. Like sometimes the tools that you talk about teach me how to interact with everyone that I come into everyone that I come into contact with. Yes.
And the pandemic really served a lot of people. It really did. It opened the doors for us to look at ourselves. And now people are saying, I don't want that life that I had before the pandemic. I want something different, but they don't know how to get that something different. And that's what this kind of therapy provides. It's let's talk about it. Let's step into it. Let's become mindful. Let's understand that there's something greater than ourselves. You know, quantum physics. There's energy all around us, right? So it's also about energy and how we move it and use it. And just, you know, we can be better. Just no one ever said that. No one told us. As a matter of fact, we were all taught how to look at what's going wrong in our lives and try to fix it, as opposed to look at what's going right in our lives and celebrate it.
Very
we
true.
didn't celebrate.
No.
We were just taught work.
Right.
And then we were tired and we were cranky and we were angry, right? And then the pandemic hit, and then it was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, if you're telling me that I got to go to work and I got to do all this, and all of a sudden, no, stay home. You know what I mean? It's like, so what the fuck was I doing for all these years?
That's
where,
what.
and now you tell me we could just shut shit down and it's not a big deal. Shit's just going to go back. So, like, I think it really made you a point to genuflect and say, well, I don't know if it's worth it. I'd rather be happy.
That's exactly.
Than worry about whether or not my boss is going to be mad if I got the report in on time. It's just
people were leaving their jobs by very high numbers. It was like the great exit.
Yes.
I want to do something else, because I really think that nobody knew if we were all going to die. We really didn't. We
true.
really did not know. And
especially early on, man. Early on,
right?
it was scary.
Right? So it's almost like I want to have a more balanced life. People were now seeing their children and having dinner with their children. They were walking in families. I remember seeing families walking in groups.
Yes.
Like, you never saw that before.
I
No.
know. I loved that. I thought that was so amazing. It's like a big quality of life thing. Like when I was a kid, my parents and my aunts and uncles, it was like when simpler times, we all lived closer together, and now it's all nuclear families. So it's like when I would see a family out on a walk, I would just be like just my heart would light up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. So now everybody's trying to become the best version of self. They know they can be better.
Well, you guys, we have a big announcement to make. On May 19th, Dr. Donna, you are having a retreat that, we're both going to talk about it, but will you describe what it is?
Yes. Okay. So on May 19th to the 21st at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills, we're having a women's eudaimonia retreat. It is for single women. Okay. It really originated because people coming out of the pandemic really didn't know what they were going to do about dating. So we put it together for women. And Mercedes, you said, oh, I want to do that too, right?
Yes.
And so you're going to be presenting. It's a weekend. As a matter of fact, Jeff and the Chumps will be there May 19th, Friday night, for the meet and greet.
Oh my
So,
God.
and you know what? It's great because I look at this as men supporting women in becoming or walking into their greatness. And it's wonderful. So they'll be there to do a nice a nice little talk about
Icebreakers.
an icebreaker. It'll
Get
be
to know
lots
each
of fun.
other.
Yeah. So that's on Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday we're going to have breakout sessions. We're going to talk about different things. As a matter of fact, Mercedes, you're going to be talking about the profile.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, Tommy and I kind of like to brag about the fact that we're a success story from meeting on a dating app, specifically Tinder. But
a fuck app. That was a fuck app. That wasn't a dating app. It was a fuck app.
I just let that shit slide.
Yeah, just
even
let
though
that
it's,
go.
like,
Okay.
so appropriate.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, Tommy, that I was telling Dr. Donna, I see so many of my girlfriends, the single ones, that have these ratchet profiles with terrible pictures, with a terrible bio. They lie on their bios. They say all these things that just really is bad advertising, false advertising. And I was saying, your dating profile is your storefront. It is where people who are window shopping will stop and pause and want to look at your profile, the mannequin in the window, and say, hey, I want to go in this store, as opposed to let's just cross the street and walk away or run away.
But using your same analogy, there's a reason, there's a law, it's illegal to false advertise. And a lot of these women on these dating apps are false advertising.
Well, 50%, I talk to a lot of men, 50% of what they're seeing is a misrepresentation of the woman.
100%.
A woman told me that there was a guy who actually put out, if we meet up and you are not what is represented in your pictures,
I'm leaving.
You're buying drinks.
Oh,
I like that. I was just like, yes,
yeah,
50%. I've had men that said to me, I walked by the woman 3 times, didn't even know
it was
it
her.
was her.
Yeah.
And I find that so mean. Like, why are you do you think you're going to get a good reaction from him when you sit down with him?
No.
You're not.
Or do you think you look like that? And if that's said, you know what I mean? If you feel like you have to make this different look of you, then now you think you really look like that, and it's like that's not you, girl. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Women are beautiful, Mercedes.
Yeah.
All sizes, all ages, all shapes. Did you ever see somebody that was so beautiful, and then they opened their mouth and they became ugly?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Happens
What
all the
about
time.
the person who is not aesthetically pleasing to the eye?
Yeah, and it's
They
hilarious.
Open their mouth, and you're like, I am in love with this person.
Yeah, they're
Okay?
great. Absolutely.
So it's the idea of gathering these women and saying, you are beautiful, and we're going to step into your greatness, and we're going to advertise that. You're going to learn how to actually fall in love with yourself, because the bottom line is, if you're not in love with yourself, why should somebody else fall in love with you?
And in their
100%.
defense, it's tough because I'm sure there's an inferiority that comes into it when it's like, my picture doesn't look, it's not going to look as good as her picture. You know what I mean? And there is a window shopping element to it for a guy where he doesn't give a shit what your favorite color is. You know, he's just looking at, oh, wow, she's hot. Oh,
Well,
she's hot.
But then
So
maybe
it's-
that guy is not for that woman.
I agree. I
Right?
agree.
Exactly,
If we could all think on that level, yes. But I think when you're making your profiles and you're doing this, I think that it's easier said than done to have that. But I agree with you, and it's in its core, you're right. But I just don't know in real time if that's how, like, when she's making her app or when he's looking at girls, especially when he thinks they're all full of shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
see,
oh,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is part of the problem. And this retreat is not just about how do we date. It's about how do we become the best version of ourselves, and we will attract the best version of not only our perfect partner, but business partners. Okay?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to add that moving past the picture, like the picture is the storefront, which we have really specific ideas and examples to help people create their profile
Yes.
and how to pick the pictures and
Yes.
why and who should help you pick the pictures. And beyond that, once you meet, the boundaries that you should set when you're dating, the value system, sometimes the lies we tell ourselves when we first meet somebody, and we're so focused on making the guy like us that we don't even find out if we like the guy.
So true.
Yeah, so
So
there's
true.
so many things like you were saying about self-doubt or being insecure, but I want to focus on the self-confidence that comes to the cream that rises to the the cream that rises to the top be the self-confidence and
Yes.
the things that we are a trophy. And you know, when you meet, like I have a tendency to, when I meet someone, I'm kind of a people pleaser. So I'll kind of be like, you know, just kind of agree with you. But inside, when I come home, I want specific checklists. Did this guy meet my criteria?
Yes.
Because I could so easily fall into this trap of like, I went out on a date and I'm so focused on knowing if you're going to ask me on a second date that I might even know if I should want you to ask me for a second date.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think men, I talk to a lot of men and I'm like, well, what makes you like this person? They don't say she's pretty or she weighs 130 pounds or anything. They always come back and say it was her confidence. She
Yes.
was so confident.
Yes.
And women don't understand that. You know,
Right.
where, you know, guys, I'm sorry, Tommy, but guys think they're so beautiful. They really do. They go out with women and they could be doing the dumbest shit. And you know what? They get in the car and they call up their friends and go, she wants me.
Well,
She wants me.
I listen. I think that's.
Oh, yeah.
There's an element where the tides turn now in the guy's favor that wasn't there in the past with us with online
you
dating
mean?
and with the apps.
Yeah, what do you mean?
The guy could have a lot going on, but he might not have the confidence to go up to that pretty girl in the bar. And you know, now if he's got it all going on, he got the pick of the litter. You know, he gets to sit there and swipe,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes out on a date and I'm gonna go. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna keep looking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep.
I'm gonna keep looking. Like she's really got to knock my socks off. Like I said, I make 6 figures a year. I got a great job. I got all my teeth. I got a nice car. I got a
got all
nice.
his
It's important
what I
when
mean?
you have all your teeth.
Yeah,
and
you
also
know?
to have a car and a job.
Yeah,
Teeth, car, and a job. You're
Yes.
good.
Bare minimum.
but the guy thinks it's more than a bare minimum, because
Yeah,
one of his friends might not have all his teeth, and one of his friends might be unemployed. It's like if me and again
The homeless and toothless.
But the friend that he's talking about might have always, in the past been the guy to get the girl because he's good looking and he works out and he takes a good topless pic in the bathroom. But now there's more to it, So I think that it's given the guy a little bit more, control that he probably never had before. And, so some of the girls that, in the past who might have been a hot commodity now feel like they need to be like gorgeous, because their personality is not going to come across on that screen swipe.
Let me tell you something, Tommy. These men that you're talking about, they can do that shopping around and think that when they meet a good person that they're going to keep dating to meet someone more gorgeous. The reality is it's an attraction, laws of attraction, it's an energy. And if that guy isn't ready to settle down because he needs to go have some more surface dates and be superficial, he's going to get there. He's going to finally realize, it's going to dawn on him, it's not about 5 or 10 or 20 gorgeous girls wanted to date me. Just like me.
I think it's easier said than done for people that are over, let's call it 35. You know what I mean? But for the younger generation, these
20s,
kids
then you shouldn't
are
be.
just cycling through. They don't.
Well, if you're talking about kids, it's different. Also, too, online dating is very inorganic.
Yeah.
Because you could go on a lot of dates, but let's face it, there has to be chemistry there.
Yes.
Right.
So
Connection.
that's why I think, Zooming with somebody saves that couple a lot of time, because in a Zoom, you're going to feel the other person's energy.
For sure.
You're going to see the other person, which I think knocks out all those people that are misrepresenting themselves.
For sure.
Right.
And if somebody doesn't want to go on a Zoom, it cracks me up. I don't know how to do Zoom. We went through a pandemic. You know how to do Zoom.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how to do Zoom. So you're lying, or you're trying to hide something, or you know what? You just told me that.
Or you're a dumb fuck, and I probably don't want to go out with you either. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm good.
But I think that women need to understand that it is about energy, it is about confidence, and it's about being the best version of you.
Yes.
Then we talk about the other things.
I do like the idea of the Zoom, because even with the Zoom, she's not going to get, like when you go meet her in the bar, she's going to get real dialed up for the date, right? On the Zoom, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Well, it may.
I think you're weird. I would think you were weird. You know what I mean? Like if you get all fucking dialed up to get on a conversation with me for 10 minutes.
I just came from a meeting.
Yeah,
I'm going to a gala after this.
Let me tell you something about women.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna look good when that Zoom call.
No,
comes
that
in.
looking
With
good.
good light too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Filter.
there's
Yeah,
a difference
totally.
between that and between like date you, in my opinion. I just feel like, and if there's not, then again, that as a man, I'm telling you, that would turn me off. I'd be like,
Well, I would tell you, I'd be like, hey, babe, or, I don't know you. So I'd say, hey, Tommy, I'm about to go to a gala. So
let's have our Zoom now.
I'm on my way to the
Pre-gala.
Oscars.
Let's have, yes.
I
pre-gala.
just came home from my cousin's
Wedding.
Yes, I just came home from my cousin's
Listen,
wedding.
there's a certain element to like if you come I just came home from work and you look great. It's like, oh wow, she must look great all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is an
Yeah.
element
We have a
of
lot
that.
of tricks up our sleeve, honey.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
You got to
Yeah.
wake up pretty
Devious
early today.
bitches.
But, there's more to it than these things that I think, no offense, but it's a little superficial on your end. We're talking about connecting.
No, I think the guys are also superficial now. That's what these apps have done.
Both.
I was just listening to sport. I listen to a lot of sports radio.
You don't say.
And they were talking about this exact conversation that they, 3 of the guys there, one of them's married. Well, the 2 hosts are married and their interns are all single. And the interns are all on a dating app. And they said, I got the pick of the litter now, man. You know what I
but
mean?
if you're 20,
I'm just,
if you're 20 and you're not
they're
ready
not,
to,
but they're not 20.
Okay,
One of them's in his 30s. The other one's probably late 20s. And the other one, Al Dukes, is probably the oldest one. He's like 50. And he's on a dating app. But he's like, for the first time in my life. But again, they also have good jobs. They have a cool job.
Yeah,
so that was the other thing that they were talking about.
But also
Public
too,
persona.
are they looking for a long-term relationship?
Exactly.
Or are they looking just to have somebody to go out to dinner with? And this goes for both males and females.
Right.
Not just males.
Right.
But see, that's where this retreat is so good, because people have to get real with themselves. Women have to get real with themselves. You said something very interesting, like people pleasers. You know, if a woman wants a long-term relationship and she goes to dinner with the guy, and the guy says, "What are you looking for?" She hedges. Remember, I said she doesn't go through the front door.
What are you looking for?
Right, yeah. It's like, so if he says,
Whatever
well,
you're looking for.
I know,
Yeah.
but the answer should be, I'm looking for a long-term relationship.
Yes.
Right. So
A
this is
meaningful
about
connection.
getting,
That's what you're
getting
looking
real.
for.
Now there are men that are looking for long-term relationships as well. They're not all dogs.
Right.
They're really not. I know a lot of men
Yeah.
that are saying to me that, you know, these women are misrepresenting themselves. I've gone out a lot. I really want, you know, to meet somebody. And, you know, my son, like with, you know, my son, you said he's so hot, but he can't meet anybody of substance. I said, you know what? Put your kids in soccer and go find a soccer mom. If that's what you're looking
That's
for.
right.
Right.
That's smart.
You know, that it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
see,
apps
even
aren't for
things-
everybody.
They're
you know what I
not
mean?
for everybody.
And it's
It
not
is
the only way to date.
inorganic. But, you know, the question is, how else?
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have little kids to put into a soccer
Kidnap
soccer
one.
well, you could
No.
nieces, nephews.
Yeah.
You know, no, but how do they do that? So right now, it's really the only way to do that. But I will tell you, people of quality, not to say that people on dating sites are not of quality, because there are a lot that are very quality people. But there's a lot of people that are so against it, and it's a shame because they're really good people. You know,
Yes.
but let's face it, we believe in energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
If you-
stigma that they've attached to it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true or it's there,
Right.
but psychologically they've attached it to it for whatever reason. So it just makes it difficult for them to, you know, come out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I really believe that you're going to meet who you're supposed to meet exactly when you're supposed to meet them, whether you're on a dating site or not. But it's a way to get out of the house. It's a way to meet people. It's entertainment, as long as you're doing it safely, right?
Yes.
You can get a lot from it.
I was going to add a couple of things. Some of us, we're not ready to get out there. This
That is
workshop
true.
is supposed to be about helping you get the courage to
Yep.
get out there.
That's right.
So whether you're talking about specifics of being in a bar or being on an app, sometimes we women need to be connecting with ourselves, the idea of seeing ourselves naked, sharing it with another person, you know, all of the A to Z about building yourself from the inside so that you can even get on an app or walk up to somebody that you want to and maintain eye contact. How often do you make eye contact and then you look away
So
after
true.
a second
So
because
true.
you're shy? Like all of that stuff is
Yes.
stuff that's going on inside of you. Even, and I always talk about how taking a long shower is the best thing that a woman can do or man can do for themselves, because that is when it's a form of like making love to yourself. Like I say, if you don't like your arms, then spend more time on your arms with like your favorite body scrub in the shower. So like these are all the things that like I do on a daily basis, but I'm talking about like, what about when you want to get on an app and start putting yourself out there, and you know that's going to lead to intimacy, possibly if you're lucky enough to connect with someone that's meaningful. And how do you navigate the road so that you can have a meaningful, long-lasting relationship?
But-
It's so true too. I'm sorry.
No,
to
you
cut
go
off,
ahead,
but
you go ahead.
It's so true too, because then also too, women. Okay, so I went on the date. I like him or her, whatever their preference is. Now what do I do?
Right.
Now what do I do? How do I know I'm not being lied to? How do I know I'm not being tricked? How do I know this is for real? So now we go into the insecurity, and then all of a sudden your wounded inner child shows up, right? And your wounded inner child is freaking out, and then you sabotage it, right? And then you come to me and you go like, I don't know what happened, right? So that's what this retreat is about: is to understand what's going on inside your head.
Right. One of my girlfriends came back from a date and was like, when is he going to call me? When is he going to call me? When is he going to text me? And I was like, chill out. Let's talk about what things we're going to do to calm ourselves down.
Good.
It's only been one date. You still have to get to know each other. Keep your eyes wide open to make sure that you're not coloring him with the wrong, crayon that doesn't exist. Because, another one of our friends had a breakup and she feels like she was lied to for the duration of the relationship. And I just wanted to say, how much of that did you do by wanting to believe that he was someone that he wasn't?
Yeah, where are the red flags? Are you ignoring the red flags?
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, as they're looking at it, they're like, "Well, I should have known it when he said this. I should have known it when he did that." So you're right.
I should have known it when he said, "Let's go Dutch on Valentine's Day."
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah, thank God you.
and
aren't
some
one of
people,
those.
especially now, women,
Yeah.
when do I pay? So like,
that's a good
how
one.
many dates do I go on before I have to have sex? Okay, you don't ever have to have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no have to. But where are we with that? And so there's a lot of confusion.
And
Well,
also
listen,
don't. And if you're the type of woman that doesn't ever want to reach into her pocket, then don't accept going Dutch ever. Because if you're just doing it because you're in the first 5 dates, and then later on down the road you're gonna say that's unacceptable, then don't do it in the beginning.
That's right. Be honest, straight up.
Yeah.
Well, I again, outside of the apps, I think that we also, we live in a time that it's real. There's so much stuff out there. Like if you have interests, you could go into a Facebook group and just look for, try and connect there. You know what I mean? Like you're in the pottery, take a pottery class. There's a lot of things out there now that you could go and you could do, and you might find your guy there, or you might find the other person there.
I can have the confidence.
But at least you're doing something you like. You know what I mean? And you don't have to necessarily do something that he likes or you think that men like. Oh, I could go catch a man in a fishing class. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, listen, I like this thing. Maybe I'll go sign up or do something. And, maybe you find a guy there. And if he's there, he likes that shit too.
Yeah, you can apply it. The whole point is that you can apply what you learn in every area of your life.
Yeah, that wasn't
business.
that wasn't around 30 years ago. I'm not saying the pottery classes didn't exist, but it wasn't as prevalent to go do like really nowadays. Anything that you have an interest in, there's someone else or there's a group online that has that same interest, and
What
then you
if-
could they're in your area. And you could go find that as opposed to just going on an app if you feel uncomfortable with an app, because I get it. You know what I mean?
But what if? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to? Okay.
Okay.
What if I had the confidence to go up to someone in the place I consider the most awkward or uncomfortable? Like, let's say a grocery store. Most people are kind of, trying to get what they need and go home. They're probably hungry. They probably want to eat dinner.
It used to be a good
Well,
spot. That used to be where
But-
a lot of people met were
Right.
grocery stores.
But if I feel my most
Touch my eggplant.
Ew. Gosh.
Firm.
But if I feel my most confident, badass version of myself, I'm going to come up to you. I'm going to have the confidence to say hello,
That's right.
strike up a conversation, get past my fear,
That's right.
that debilitating fear that's just keeping us boxed in from living our best lives. And like, who cares? I'm going to come up to you. By the way, I didn't ask you to marry me on
you just said hi.
the kiss cam. Yeah. I'm just saying hi. And like, maybe I'll just say, this is something one of my girlfriends and I were at the Baja Cantina down the street, the Sagebrush Cantina down the street. And I just like looked at his shoes and I gave him a compliment on his like Nikes, for instance. I'm looking at Tommy. And no skin off my back. I just told you had nice fucking shoes. No big deal, but it's good practice.
It is good practice. And also, too, you mentioned something else. Eye contact.
Right.
We don't make eye contact. And men and women do this. You'll go to a place like the Cantina, and you'll be sitting at the bar. And what you should be doing is looking around, smiling. But no, you feel uncomfortable, so now
So
you look
just
at your
in your
phone.
phone, man.
Okay, so now what you're telling everybody is, I have no interest in meeting anyone. Don't approach me.
Yes.
Which is not really what you want.
And
So-
as a man,
Yeah.
I'm letting you know, as a man, it's a very, like, there are some guys where it's nothing. It's like water off a duck's ass. But for some guys to go up to a girl that he finds attractive is a very, very difficult step. It's one of those things where they're really stepping out of their comfort zone to do that. So if you throw up that phone roadblock, He's not walking over there,
Oh,
dude.
he's gonna take
He's
that
not.
roadblock. for
Yeah,
sure.
he's not doing it. He's not. You know, he's gonna be like, oh, she, you know.
Yeah.
So that's yes. If you're out there and that's what your intent is to be hit on, put the fucking phone in your pocket, dude.
But also, too, a lot of women, and I was one of these women, if I was walking and a man smiled at me, my head went down.
Mm-hmm,
And I had to realize that I do that because what did I just signal to him? Don't
Nope.
bother me.
Nope.
Okay, when in fact that's not what I want. So it was work to keep my head up and smile back
Yep.
because I was embarrassed,
Shy.
and a lot of people will pick up shyness as you're a bitch.
Yeah. Oh,
when,
yeah.
when in fact, no, I don't know what to do with myself right
Totally.
And this is a
Totally.
difficult time
Yep.
for men, and
Yep.
that's like, you know, the gym would be a place for a long time where you maybe
Yeah.
you would meet someone, but now if like they're filming them and like you come, it's like I don't need your help, and I'm like, oh, why all men have to sexualize me? And it's like, you know, the guy, he's just doing instinctively what men have always done. So now like they're kind of like they're a little bit in retreat, you know. So men don't know what to do. Like the system isn't the same. You know,
You're
what I mean?
absolutely right. A lot of men don't know what to do. And all women have to do is smile.
Yes.
Just smile. What that does, it's very welcoming. It makes people feel safe. Just smile.
If that's what you're looking for, you know, if you're not looking, then like you said,
put your head down.
yeah, like you
Uh,
just
then
said, you
put your
do
head down.
those things. You
Yeah,
put the
you have
phone
something
on. You
on,
look.
yeah,
You don't make eye contact. You put your. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
oh
but
shit.
We're talking about women who want to open doors in
Yes.
their life.
Yes.
And being in real estate, I want to do that with everybody that I come into
Yes,
contact
of
with.
course.
And it's not because I want to marry you. It's also because I want you to remember me. I want to be memorable. I'm building my brand. I'm building my business. I'm building my relationships. And the way that the more that I learn how important that is how you show up in a big room with a bunch of other real estate agents.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how am I going to stand apart? How am I going to set myself apart? Because we're all sitting here in the same room, all trying to get the same thing. We all want to be productive. We want to be successful. We want to close deals. And we know that the number one thing I hear is in order to win someone over as the client, it's that relationship,
It's
that connection. Somebody's choosing to sell their house with me because they connected with me. They think she's the one that's going to represent me. She's going to know how to do it all. So that's what we're doing in life. That's why I love the things that you teach us and this retreat. I'm so excited about it because it's going to be such a dynamic group of alpha females, right?
I'm just excited to get her out of the house for fucking 3 days.
Well,
He'll
me
probably
too,
show
honey.
up. He'll probably show up.
Will you come? Maybe you can come to the
I'm good. I'm
happy
good.
hour.
Opening day is Mets start pretty soon. I'm good.
Well, this is May 19th through
Oh
the
yeah,
21st.
you ain't got a shot. You ain't got a shot. You ain't got a shot.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm really excited about it. We're going to talk about it in upcoming episodes. And can you tell everyone how to get to your website?
Yes.
tickets?
Okay, so there's 2 websites. There's one, it's eudaimoniatherapy.com. I know it's a hard word to spell. It's EUDAIMONIA therapy.com. Or the easier one is the real Dr.DonnaD.com. And then you're going to look for events. But don't go to drdonnad.com because you'll get an Asian porno site. Yeah. You have to go to the real
I think I've been there.
Everybody has been there just to look.
Yeah.
The real drdonnad.com. And, just go there. It's going to be great. It's just going to be great. We have so many things going on. And I know, Mercedes, your presentation is going to be
I can't wait.
off the hook. Yep.
I can't wait.
Good.
And remember, the last thing I'll say before we move on is that small world mentality. So we've got like so many fun things to just
Yes.
dive into.
Yes.
So should we go through the questions that the people wrote in on Instagram?
Sure.
Did we go to anywhere else for for questions? Because we have
No, you posted them.
a big yes, I did. We have a big Q&A today. All of the people that sent in questions for Dr. Donna, we're sorry we didn't get to all of them, but I think the ones we have are so relatable. I was like, all of these women, they feel me. They go, they know my pain. Every single day, I'm I consider myself a newlywed, even if we've been married for more than 2 years. Is that how long you're considered a newlywed?
I don't even know. I
don't know what the cutoff is.
Well,
I just know it feels like an eternity.
even though we've been married for a few years, I still want it to be fresh, and I want him to obviously say, I would still make this decision today. I ask myself the same question, like, would you still marry each other? And that's why I always want to learn how to communicate better, because life isn't getting any easier.
No, it's not. And a lot of people say that after you get married, people change. People don't change. Expectations change.
Circumstances change.
Yes. Too. And if something's bothering you before you get married, it's not getting better after you get married. Yeah. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
So so you need to know that. You need to
getting exponentially worse.
Yes.
Because before you kind of just threw it in a closet, you know what I mean? You didn't deal with it. Yeah. Now it came out of the closet, it's in your face, and it's there walking around all day long.
It's because of expectations.
Yes.
Now that we're married, I expect you to be okay with me now, watching the Laker game every single night.
Yeah.
We're married now. I expect you to know that I love sports,
Yes.
right? So the expectations change. The people don't change.
Right.
Yes.
And okay, so I'm going to dive into the first question. Dr. Donna, how do I connect with my husband when he's checked out after a long day at work every day?
Okay, so men and women process not only information, but process their lives differently. If your man is coming home and he's checked out, he's exhausted, you have to give him a minute. A lot of men will complain, like, I put one foot in the door, and there she was. You know what happened? We have aunts, and, these kids drive me crazy, and your mother called. I can't stand that bitch. Now, he's like, whoa, I should have stayed in the car. I didn't get my other leg in the door.
Yeah.
So relax. Let him come in and relax. And then, now, men, you can't just shut down and say, I'm going to bed, because she wants to talk to you. She's married to you because she likes you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I think that you need to learn how to communicate. Women need to know that you don't don't let him come in and all of a sudden you're all over him. Give him a minute. Make sure that he's eating something, right? And then say, can we talk?
I was guilty of that. When Tommy would come home, I would just dump all of my, anything that stressed me out. I would just say first of all, I would look at him and I would roll my eye roll.
It's like you're coming
glare.
up for a second job. You know what I mean? You just get off the one job, and now you come in, and it's like you said, it's like she's been bursting with anticipation for you to walk through the door to just hit to this, and this. It's just like, whoa.
But
bro.
then I realized, when was the last time that Tommy came home and I actually stopped what I was doing, put whatever it was down, and walked over and looked at him in the eye, and I was like, hey, can I have a hug? How's your day? How are you? Like basic stuff.
Yeah, but men will also have to understand, too, that women are waiting to talk to you.
Yeah.
Remember, women talk. That's how they process, okay? So they want to talk to you. They like you. They want to share with you. You're their person.
Well, you take her cousin Zeba, for example. She's been at home with two kids all day, you know what I mean? And dealing with all that craziness. They're looking for another fucking adult to speak to and have a conversation with. And her husband hasn't had to deal with any of the shit that's been going on. He's had his own shit.
He has his business.
Yeah.
So he has a storefront, speaking of storefronts, that he's basically there 10 plus hours every day. Yeah. Sometimes longer.
So sometimes it's just, worlds collide,
The thing too with couples, you have to go on dates.
Yeah.
When you get married, you always all of a sudden get caught up in the kids and the bills and everything, and you don't go on a date. I've had couples that come and see me, and I say, when was the last time that you've been out on a date? And they look at each other and they laugh, not because it's funny. It's so sad that they can't remember the last time that they had dinner together. And you know what? A husband and a wife going out to dinner is different than a husband and wife going on a date. A date is you call up your spouse and say, hey, you want to meet me for a drink? That's a date. A husband and wife going to dinner, that's nothing. You just go to dinner.
Wow.
When was the last time you got dressed to impress the other person and went out on a date?
I actually just read a book, Make Shit Happen by Sean Whalen, which is very good. And it's directed at men. And one of his, he talks about that it's very important to go on dates.
Absolutely.
But he's been divorced, and he does with his new wife. It's something that they do. So I don't disagree.
He probably knows that he didn't implement those things in his first marriage.
Yeah, something that he and wasn't his responsibility, her responsibility, just something that didn't metastasize, and it got worse.
Yeah.
And he says, son, you need to date your wife. So that comes from both. That comes from both sides. You and
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I can tell you that he's been implementing something from that book, because he's texting me throughout the day.
Yes.
Like random romantic things.
That was one of the other things he said to do, was to set an alarm or set alarms throughout the week that will go off to tell you to text your wife that you love her and that you think
That's a
about
great
her.
idea.
Yeah. Another one he had was to get a thing of sticky notes.
Yes,
like
that's
this.
that's very old, the sticky note thing.
Yeah.
And you leave them in the car, you leave them in the
Different
medicine
places.
cabinet, you leave them by
The
a suit.
suitcase if they're out of town.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I do
Why
that.
I'm just saying I haven't done that.
Oh, okay, but you
I'm
will.
just- yeah, you
I
know.
do. I've done that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying
I
he
do, though.
suggested that. I'm just saying I haven't put that into play. Is all I'm saying.
That's okay, babe. The other things that you're doing are great.
Yeah. Well, I'm great.
Okay, wait. Let's go into the next question.
Okay.
Ooh, this one hits so close to home. I'm a sports widow like MJ. I'm a supportive wife, but I don't think he sees it that way.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the sports widows, and know your man. Okay. Now the best thing, but a lot of women don't like to do this. The best thing is to get involved in the sport that he's interested in. But if the woman really doesn't like sports, then you have to do something else. Again, if he wants to watch sports all day long, that's fine. But there has to be time cut out for her. Okay, so I'm going to watch the Laker game. I'm going to watch the whatever football game. And when we're done, we'll go out to dinner. See, there has to be attention given to her. Now, see, what happens a lot with these sports widows is that if the game doesn't go the way your spouse wants it to go, they're in a bad mood for the rest of the day or evening. That is so bad.
Yeah, that's not me.
Okay, that's so bad.
When football is on or fantasy football, sometimes that could affect me because again, fantasy football has money involved and like that you could win at the end of the year. Win. So sometimes that might piss me off. But baseball, which is really my true love, it's her, then my son, then it's the Mets. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
You ranked up there right on top.
I don't believe him. It's the Mets, and then it's
no,
Shams.
it's not. No, it's not. That's
me first?
No, it's
Okay,
it's,
but that's
Speaking of which,
but
how'd you
wait.
get him to stay so quiet? Yeah.
But that's how she feels. She's expressing to you how she feels, and you're saying, no, that's not true. So now what you're doing is you're denying her an emotion, and that's not fair.
well, this is the way it's been in our relationships. Like as you said, you know who you married, right?
Yes.
So this is how I've always been.
I understand.
So it's nothing's changed.
Okay.
I watch Met games.
I understand.
I watch them whenever they play. I
Sure,
watch
of
the
course.
Met game.
Of course.
That's it.
Okay. So does that hurt your feelings?
Yes, it makes me feel like diminished, like marginalized.
Okay. What did you hear her say? Don't respond. Just tell me what you heard her say.
That it makes her feel bad.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Wait, so now him watching the Mets game makes you feel bad?
No.
What about it makes you feel bad?
No, him saying that like I've always done this. This is always how it's been. This is our whole relationship. I don't want to change him watching the Mets. I just want the connection between us to be like a little more honest. Like I watch sports and I am going to give you my full attention at some point. Like you were saying, to schedule that time just as much as you prioritize the sports. I want to also feel prioritized at some point.
Okay, so give him all right, remember, you'll make a statement, then you'll make it again and again and again and again. His eyes glaze over. Okay, so one sentence of what you want. He's going to watch the Met game.
I want you to...
Don't use the word you.
Oh, yeah. I respect your love for baseball. I said the word your. Okay.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to. That's
Like,
setting him
please-
up. You don't have to set him up.
Okay.
I want you to walk through the front door.
Okay.
Tell him what you want.
After baseball, are we going to do something?
Nope. Tell him what you want. You asked him.
Oh, after baseball, I want to go out to dinner.
What did you hear?
After the game's over, let's do something.
No, that's not what you said.
We'll go out to dinner.
Okay. Are you okay with that?
Sure. I mean, it depends when it is, though. You know what I mean? Like some of these games will end at 9 o'clock at night. We got a kid. You know, it's going to be difficult to do that. There's 162 Met games.
Okay.
You want to go out to dinner every fucking night? You know what I mean?
Wait, do you?
Well, there's 162 Met games, so I would like to start with that.
Yeah.
You know, let's the imbalance of the time with the game and the time that we have, the quality time, is severely lopsided.
Okay. I just want to point out, men are very literal. Okay. He heard when you said after a Met game, I want to go out to dinner. He heard after every Met game, there's 100 and something. That's not really what she said. She didn't say after every Met game, I want to go out to dinner.
Right.
Well, she said after the Met game, I want to go out to dinner.
After a Met game, I want to go out to dinner. So ask her a question.
Well, on Saturdays, I give her the day. Like with football, like we do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, we do.
Is that true?
Sundays is football. I watch football.
Okay, I got it.
Saturdays, we do whatever you want.
Okay. Do you hear what she's saying?
But
I want you to get out of the weeds. You're in the weeds.
I understand, but there's a two-part. You know, I don't go out. I don't go like hang out with the guys. I don't go out drinking.
But you don't
There's
have to
basketball.
defend
I feel I do because again, like I said, this is something that I've done since I'm 13.
I know, but listen,
You know?
Tommy. You don't have to defend yourself. I want you to stay out of the weeds, okay? She's saying, after a Met game, I want to go out to dinner. Now, you have a question. Your question is, do you mean after every Met game? And let her answer. Just let her answer.
You mean after every Met game?
Answer.
No.
Well, now you need, see, he needs more specifics.
I want quality time, whether it's right after a Met game or not. I want to feel prioritized as well.
Okay. Do you know what that means when she says, I want to feel prioritized? Or do you need a little bit more detail?
I think that, that can mean a lot coming from her. So, yeah, that doesn't mean anything in particular.
Okay. What is she really asking you? She's asking you for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
That's
so
it.
true.
That's it. That's all she's asking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm saying you have to separate the drama from the reality. The drama in a few words. I need more attention, especially during baseball season. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you've been watching baseball since you were 10. Do you see how that doesn't matter? What matters is she needs to have attention during baseball season.
Yeah, but I also don't need to hear it. Like, I don't need to hear it in a fight that I watch the Mets so fucking much, and that fucking the Mets, and you don't work for the Mets, and you're not the sports.
I
don't need to hear it.
I know.
I don't need to feel bad about it.
I know.
Because again, it's something I love. It's one of the last links I have to my mother,
Okay.
who was also a big Met fan.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Manipulation.
It's not. That's how I feel. I know we talked a lot about how she feels, but that's how I feel. I feel that I just like to watch the Met game. I do everything she asked me. Like that list, write a list. Anything you need, I do. When is it my turn? You know what I mean? Like when do I get the fucking just leave me alone and watch the fucking Met game? Again, I'm not asking for a lot, dude. I'm not having an affair with my secretary. I'm not fucking canoodling online with women. I'm not fucking going to the bars having drinks. I'm sitting in the back fucking yard watching a Met game. That's it.
Okay, but you didn't hear what she said.
Yeah, no, she needs attention. I got it.
Okay, so
I got it.
Talking about
I got it. So
okay.
I need that to be all right. I need that to be okay.
She said that.
She said it. I heard what she said.
Yeah.
I heard what she said. But saying and doing are two totally different fucking
Well,
things.
see, that's the whole thing. That you're now exploring a new area. She's not saying don't ever watch another game. She's saying I need attention.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. But you're not going to get the attention during the Met game.
She's not asking you for it.
Come back back during the Met games, Dr. Donna.
No.
Yeah. All right.
We got into a really big blowout fight because during the Super Bowl, I asked if he would find this book, this kid's book. And I said to him in the wake of the fight when we were like actually hashing it out, I said, I don't expect you, because he was saying like it's the Super Bowl. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not telling you during a running, the ball's being run by the quarterback.
She
during
was.
a commercial.
Yes, it was during the commercial.
No.
They were going into the end
Wait,
zone.
you have to let her finish.
Okay.
I'm saying like if I ask you for something like the charcoal in the barbecue or the book in the whatever, it's just, can you do it at some point? You know, not right this second, like he was saying before with the chores.
Yeah, well,
It's
but you did a great thing when you made the list, and then he said, "I'll do it when I get to it." I think that's something that you both now know that's the process that you need to go through, right?
because there are so many football games and baseball games in a year. I don't want him to be off limits from doing anything from the duration of the entire game. If there's something like during a commercial, I'll get it. That should be on the table. It shouldn't be absolutely I don't exist, because it would be 300 days out of the year.
No, it's not.
If not more.
Well,
It's
okay,
not.
so but what this is, it's about a negotiation. You know how you do division of labor? You'll do this, you'll do this, you'll do this. You have to get, this is a situation that you need to discuss, and there needs to be a compromise. Now, what that compromise is, you may not get to it today, but I think that both of you need to think, okay, what is it that I really want? And Mercedes, you have to be very specific, okay? I understand that you like the game. Well, on the weekend, wait.
She's got to stick to it. You know what I
Well-
mean? She could say it, but then that could change. You know what I mean?
It's okay to change as long as there's a discussion about the change, right?
Okay.
It's about a discussion. Remember, it's all about communicating. It's all about
Yes.
communicating.
Yes.
You talk to people that have been married 60 years, something like that, and you ask them what's the secret, they'll say, well, actually, the guy usually says, I say yes, dear. But the truth of the matter is,
I'm not
about
that guy.
No,
Not at
I
all.
know it's a joke.
Yeah.
But the
But
truth
it's not,
is,
because
but-
I know a lot of guys like that. That just, yes, dear, yes, dear.
Yeah.
She's the boss, and it's like, that's not me, dude.
One of his triggers
that's
is
not-
that
that's
she
not
wears
you.
the pants, or
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
wife,
like,
happy life gets on his
man,
nerves.
that sounds like extortion to me. That sounds like if you don't. I come from a
It's about-
neighborhood where, like, that says that if you don't pay me, I'm going to come break your windows.
Right.
But you're going to pay me for protection. You know what I mean? It's
well,
like, what?
right. But the best way is by communicating. It's really about communicating, and this is what's hurting me. This is what I need, and either you can comply with that or you need to negotiate. Right?
Yes.
It's all about, everything. Look, everything's a negotiation. Marriage is, communicating and negotiating.
But it's also something I don't want to feel guilty about. Like, for example, the Mets right now are in spring training. They've had Met games on every day. I haven't watched one because I don't want to get into an argument about it. But I feel like, why?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, why can't, because we've been there, and it just,
Well,
she
you-
makes me feel bad about myself.
know.
She makes me feel like I'm a loser because I like to watch the Mets.
Okay, well-
So again, they've been there for 3 weeks. Have you seen anything Mets? Have you heard me talk Mets?
No, but you don't need to feel like a loser.
But
because
that's
you
how,
enjoy
but
baseball.
that's how you make me feel.
I do not make you feel.
okay, wait.
that
Let's go back to the.
But she's telling me like how I don't feel. You know
which
what
is
I
what?
mean?
Well, you both did it to each other.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it this way. You are married,
Yes.
okay? And unfortunately, if she's not a Met fan, that is going to interfere with the games you watch because you're married.
Yes.
Okay? If you want to watch every single Met game and every single basketball game and every single, well, then, you might not want
But
to
I
be
don't.
married.
But I
Okay,
don't.
All right. But
And again, this isn't new. This isn't just dropped in the middle of, this is from the day she fucking met me. This is how I've been.
well,
And it's with the Mets, and it's with football. But I used to be a big basketball fan. Lamar Odom was one of my good friends. I don't watch basketball anymore because that's too much sports.
remember when I said expectations change?
Yeah.
The expectation has changed, and it requires a conversation.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, I think that the best thing in the world would be that we can have an understanding, a meeting of the minds about how this works, so that he can watch baseball knowing that, hey, listen, by the way, I would enjoy a baseball game. I would enjoy watching baseball games, not as all of them, but only because I've got other things and pursuits and things that I have to do. Sometimes I consider the time that he's watching a game would be a time that I'll be like nesting around the house. I'll be at home with the kid. We'll tidying up or doing stuff. But what I definitely don't want is for him to feel badly about watching something that he loves, so much.
So that's why you're going to negotiate new terms.
Okay.
Guys.
Wow, you guys, we have to have you back, Dr. Donna.
I will definitely come back.
And for those,
I will definitely come back because there's a lot of work here that needs to be done.
And for those, I fucked up. We actually had a lot more of this to talk about. You can see it all on YouTube and on a Patreon, but it's not.
The
it's
first
not
hour was
there was
not
another hour.
recording.
There was another hour which delved a lot deeper, and I think that if you're a couple in a relationship, you'd really want to see it because there was some good stuff there.
Yes, it was a lot of amazing things, and the way that you interact with both of us, Dr. Donna, is just incredible because you're connecting with him, and you and I are in therapy already, so like I know that we connected that way, but there's so many questions that I wanted to answer and ask, and so many of our listeners that have written in.
But she's right. At 2:00, if you don't get the fuck out of here, her drive. She's gonna be on the 405 for the weekend.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. But I do think that some of these questions, now that I'm looking them over, have been answered and addressed when you and I were talking with Dr. Donna in go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes. It'll be on our YouTube.
All right. So thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Donna.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, and when are we going to have her back? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm having separation anxiety from Dr. Donna already.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Well, maybe
Soon.
sooner than we hope.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you. Thanks again, Dr. Donna. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you everybody that donates the books. I appreciate you.
All right. We will see you next week.
See you next time.
Mom!